Hi guys, welcome back to another Three Amigos. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to the Three Amigos episode. Today I'm here with Steph to take some portraits for her yoga page and her yoga website. So we're here at M+. We came here really early in the morning at about 5:45 a.m. where there's really not a lot of people around and the light was nice and soft. Unfortunately, we came across some pretty strong weather, rainy conditions. If you guys have been keeping up the news, you know that there's been some pretty serious flooding in Hong Kong recently. Some of the strongest rains in like 120 years. But anyway, we're making the most of we have the situation. I've brought several lenses to try out, including a 21, the 35, the 50, the 90, and the 75 millimeter lenses. So we'll be doing a mix of sort of environmental portraits as well as close-up portraits. Today we use one light. We use the Zhiyun light, which has been giving us some very nice sort of additional lighting because the environment is still quite dark. And we're sort of walking around the scene to see what we can sort of make of. We have some very beautiful, natural soft boxes from the M+ sign. And we also have some really nice sort of bamboo sort of backdrops as well as staircase backdrops and very dramatic sort of scenes. So although we can't shoot outside today, but I think, as a portrait session, wherever you go, you sort of adapt to the environment and do what you can. So I think we can still get some pretty dramatic and interesting shots. So it's actually my first time doing some yoga shoots, so I think it'll be quite fun. But obviously, Steph is a very professional model and yoga teacher, so I think the photos will come really nicely. So we'll put in the link in the description to her website and her Instagram, so do check her out and the classes that she offers. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe in the videos, and let us know if you have any questions to follow.
All right, guys. Back in the studio, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my thoughts and some of the composition process while doing the photo shoot. Now, the photo that you first see here was taken with the LEICA 75mm Summilux, and the reason why I chose this lens was because I really wanted to compress the background. Now, that's something to take note of when you're taking photos, and especially when you have very bad weather. I really want to eliminate the sky from the background, and so having a 75mm really allows you to compress the background, because if you were to shoot with a wider angle, you'll be getting a lot of sort of white space, blown out sort of highlights over the top right of the photo. Now, on the other hand, it was also important to have an additional light. As you can see in this photo, we've positioned the light on Steph's right side behind her, and it really gives a really good accentuation on the hair as well as the trailing leg behind her. And so I think the photo really would have been quite incomplete without the light, because you notice that you're getting a lot of shadow areas right in front of the bench. And so having that light behind her to sort of just accentuate the bench and her leg as well as her hair, I think really gives a nice sort of touch to the photo. Now, in this second photo here, we have a photo of Steph doing like a split. This was also taken on the bench, and again, what you notice on this photo is that the light was actually placed below the bench, and this was we were basically using the wall on Steph's left side to bounce the light, sort of like a big diffuser. And although some might say that this part is a little bit blown out, but it's not distracting, and I think that it gives a very nice fall off onto her face as well as her hair. And Steph has some really nice highlights on her hair, so I think having that light to sort of shine on her hair really gives a nice color to her hair, as well as a very nice diffuse light over her facial profile. So in this third photo, you'll notice that Steph is again doing a very beautiful yoga pose, and actually we didn't use the Zhiyun light, and we managed to make the most out of the softbox that you saw previously. And it gives her a very nice, very soft diffuse lighting over the front side, as well as sometimes having a bit of accentuations between the shadows and the highlights on behind her actually sort of emphasizes that posture as well. So yeah, overall very happy with this photo. And Again, similarly in this photo, we're also getting the light from the backside, and I did consider whether or not we would want to using the fill light, using the Zhiyun light as a fill light in front of her. But actually what I noticed is that having cast the shadows on her back, although this may not be very preferred if it was sort of like a normal portrait session, but what I realized is that it actually accentuates the curvature which you get from yoga lighting. So again, one of the take-home messages for taking yoga photos is really to get down and low in terms of the angle to accentuate the curvatures and the lines, as well as using more dramatic lighting. And you'll note from our photos that we oftentimes, instead of putting the light at a 45-degree angle, we actually place them at a 90-degree angle, or even just use one single light and place it behind the subject, which gives a lot more accentuations on the curvature as well as the lines and the hair. So in this photo of Steph doing a back arch photo, this was taken with the 35 Sumilux. And here we're getting some really nice backlight coming from the M plus sign. And note how it makes a very nice sort of hair light from the back. But if we didn't put the light towards in front of Steph, she would be severely backlit. And so we use the Zhiyun light, we put it in front of Steph, and it gives her a very nice and soft sort of diffuse lighting. And so I think using the wide angle gives a little bit more of a perception in terms of the architecture, because I think the M plus sort of a concrete sort of background and the wooden floor has a very nice touch to the photo as well. So these photos were actually the first set of photos which we were taking, and you notice that we placed the single Zhiyun light actually behind Steph. And what you notice in this photo is that the wooden or concrete sort of floor, as well as the floor mat, actually served as a very good way to sort of bounce the light off the ground. And so even though she's very backlit in this photo, but you notice that the lighting on her in general is quite diffuse and quite balanced. And so I was very happy with the results from that, because we were getting very, very little ambient light from the sun. In this photo, also again taken with the Voigtlander 21mm f1.8, as the light started to brighten a little bit, we decided to shift the light actually towards the back of Steph. So notice how the light's actually focusing on her hand as well as the hair. One thing in yoga photography is that when you place the lighting emphasis on the most exaggerated components, it sort of helps to exaggerate the curvatures that's been able to be performed. So I think the backlight, and also gives a nice sort of highlight and a sort of nice soft light around the background. And so I think that turned out really nicely as well. Now, in this photo of Steph doing a sort of split, we've actually placed the light about 45 degrees behind her, behind and lateral to her. And so it was, again, mainly to sort of give some emphasis in the photo and to give the photo a bit of a punch. Without the addition of the light from the side here, I think the contrast would have been so great, and and the light at the back gives the photo a bit of a pop, a bit of a sort of a soft flare coming from the side. So I think having that additional light was very useful as well. And in this photo, the light again is placed all the way to Steph's right-hand side, coming from about a 90-degree angle, and gives a very nice sort of balance fall off from the background. Now, this photo was taken with the LEICA Sumilux 50mm, and this is probably the most simple lighting setup. It involved placing the main light about 45-degree angle in front of Steph, and having the sort of fallout from the background makes the photos turn out really nicely. I think if we could potentially have a second light. I think placing one more light behind her to sort of give a bit more emphasis on the hairline would have turned out really nicely as well. Now, in this photo, we're actually placing, again, getting down low onto the ground and having a very low perspective sort of accentuates the posture in yoga. So that's one thing to take note. And secondly, we're getting some really nice sort of diffuse light from the ceiling, from these two light sources. And so for this light, we place the Zhiyun sort of 45 degrees to our left, just to give a bit more highlight to the hair, as well as the front side and the side face of Steph. Now, these last few photos were taken with the Leica 90mm Summicron f2. What I like about this lens is that it's a very old and very soft lens, which makes it really nice for portraiture. And again, in this series of photos, we're really making use of the light that's coming from the light box, and again, no additional lighting required because the light coming was just really soft. And what's quite nice about this lighting is that because it's very soft, but it's coming from almost 90 degrees towards her right, so it almost serves as like a very big soft box. And by having this light, it's really able to accentuate the musculature. You can see her abs sort of having some sort of very nice light to sort of accentuate those as well. So that's a very sort of subtle way of showing off her athletic build as well. And in this last photo, we have Steph performing some very nice floor yoga poses, and we have a very nice sort of bamboo background, but we weren't getting much lighting, and so this is performed using a single light with the Zhiyun as well, placed at a 45-degree angle, and again, it really highlights the posture really well, and it lights up the background enough. So we place this light actually a bit further back so that the whole background could be lit up quite nicely as well. All right, so that concludes our photo shoot. It was a very fun shooting with Steph and experimenting with a single light setup. I think if we had a second chance to do this shoot again, hopefully we'll get some nice sunny weather to shoot outdoors and on the grass. But I'm really happy with how the photos turned out concerning the circumstances that were given. And I think if we were able to add a second light, it might add a lot more dynamic sort of lighting to the situation. But I think from these photos, you can see that even a single light is sort of more than enough to give you very satisfactory results. So anyway, let us know what you guys think about the photos, and don't forget to give us a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel.